Hello everyone, this is today we are going to record one lecture on object oriented system design with C++. Okay, today we will discuss the various concept of class and objects and constructor and what are the purpose in the object oriented system design approaches. Okay, so myself is Dr. Sarvachan Verma, assistant professor in IT department at Ajay Kumar Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Let's now. Okay, now if we're talking about class, so basically class it is a user defined data type, and every class contains some data fields and methods, and these data fields and methods which is defined inside the class is accessible by the object of a particular class. Second thing, the data members and the functions which is declared inside the class is also called the property of a particular class. So if we talking about in the simple term, so we can easily say it is a user defined data type which holds its own data members like variables and member function which can be accessed by creating the object or instance of a particular class. And these properties like data members and functions are called the property of a particular class. Okay. Now, next question comes into the mind, how to define or declare the class in C++. So first, in C++, if you are going to declare the class, then the class keyword will used, and this is the class keyword which is used to declare the class, and this is the class name. It is a valid identifier, and this is, we can say this is the user defined name, but you have to follow the rule and regulations for defining the identifiers in C++. And now the next line is start body of the class, and this is the end which indicate the closing or ending the class declaration. Now first line is access specifier. In C++, there are three types of access specifier: private, public and protected. Whatever declare inside the private, it means it cannot be accessed by the outside of the class. Public means it will be accessed throughout the entire class, or we can access remotely also. And if we are talking about protected, so whatever declare inside the protected access specifier, that members and that properties will be accessible only and only to the child class of a particular class. Next is data members. So data members is also called the variables, whatever you want to declare the data for your particular class. And last one is member function, and member functions also called the methods to access the data members of a class. And make sure in C++ the class name ends with the semicolon, and this is the sign of semicolon. So in C++, this is the particular syntax how to declare the class in C++. I hope you have got the clear clarity about this. Now, some points are important regarding the class, and it should be noted, because from previous declaration we can say the class is a way to bind the data members and functions together. And in object oriented programming, to binding the data and methods together into a single unit is called the encapsulation, and this is the one property of object oriented programming language. Second thing, the body of the class is enclosed within the braces, and in C++ always, do not ignore, always ends the class with semicolon. Third thing, the keywords public, private and protected also called the access specifier, but in Java these called the access modifier. And if we are talking about the members of a class in C++, so by default the member of a class are private, but in Java the by default the member of a class is default. So these are the some important points you should have knowledge, and you should have aware about these important points regarding the class in C++. Now, so now we are going to discuss the various types of specifier and what are the various approaches related to these specifier. If we declare public, what will happen? If we declare private, what impact will be there inside the class? And protected we will discuss in the concept of inheritance. Okay, so we will discuss one by one, and this is a very simple example inside this, and you will see here I have one class name is my class. Okay, this is the name of the class, and inside this my class I have declared three data members I, J and K, and these I, J and K are declared as a access specifier publicly. Okay, then after I have declared the object of my class as A, and now I am going to assign the value of I equal 100, okay, or A assigning the value of J equal 4, and finally I am going to find the multiplication of I and J into the public variable K, A dot I into A dot J. Finally, I am going to print this value. You will see here inside this is the body of class, and I am going to access this I, J, K outside the class because this body is closed here. How it is possible? Because these I, J and K are public data members. Okay, so this is a very important concept which comes into the mind ki what is the impact of public and what is the impact of private data members in C++. So it's always comes in, you have aware about this. Second thing, this is the first scenario when you are declare the members as a public. Now comes to the second scenario. You will see here inside this these three members are private. I, J and K are declared as a private. Okay, now I am creating the object A, no issue at all. But here I am going to access these three members, three variables which are declared as a private inside the class my class. So now, as I am earlier said, the visibility of these three members are only through this boundary. After this boundaries, these members are not visible. Here I am going to access a dot I equal 100, a dot j equal 4, and finally a dot k equal a dot I into a dot j. And finally, I am going to print C out a dot k. You will see here, I, j and k declare as private, immediately I will get a compilation time error. Compiler said, because I, j, k are the private members, not visible outside the class body. These members are declared as private, not visible outside the class body. This is the scenario. This is the scenario which we can say this is the difference between the public and private, and that's why we are saying C++ is a very secure language, we can say, because it has the capability to hide the data. It has the capability to hide the data. कैसे data hide किया? You will see here. So you can see the data hiding using private declaration. How you can achieve the data hiding? You can achieve the data hiding with the help of private data members. So I got you aware about the public and private concepts and its access specifier in C++. Thank you. Next comes questions into the mind ki how we can access the private data members. So if we have any private data members, then that private data members only and only accessible by the member function of the class. Again, one question comes into the picture and comes into the mind, what is member function? So we can say the member function is a function which is declared inside a class, is called the member function. Okay. So just take this example and you will see how we can access the private data member of the class. You will see here, this is the private data member roll number. This is the private data member. Okay. And this private roll number, now I am going to declare two public methods or functions inside this code. The first method is or function is a get roll number, and second function is set roll number. Okay. So this method has no argument, but it has integer return type, so it will return the roll number, and this method has one argument of integer type. It will take the roll number and assign the value to this private variable. Okay. Now our code start from this main function. Now this is the object of student class which I have declared inside this part. Now I am going to assign a dot roll number. I am accessing this private variable directly. Immediately I will get an compilation time error. You will see here inside this. Immediately I will get a compilation time error. So this way we cannot access the directly, we cannot access the private variable. Directly we cannot access, but with the help of the member function we can access. So we access the private members indirectly, not directly. Okay. That's why you will see here I am at the line 22. I am going to call the method set roll number with the value 1. Immediately this piece of code will be executed. Immediately this piece of code will be executed, and this value 1 will be transferred to I, and I will move this value to this roll number. So this is a possibility. There is no we cannot say ki we cannot access the private member. We can access the private member, but indirectly, not directly. Okay, that's why this is a set roll number, and this value will be assigned to the this roll number. This roll number private members of a class student. Then again control comes to this line, a dot get roll number. Immediately this piece of code will be executed and it will return the roll number. What is the value of roll number? 1. It will return to this and this will be printed. The output will be 1. So you will see here inside how we can access the private member of a particular class. So the private member access with the help of a particular member function of a class. So you will see here at line 22 I call or we call a dot set roll number, which a member function and used to access the private variable roll number. We cannot access private member directly, as you see at the line 20 and 21. Immediately I will get an compilation time error. So I think you got the clear clarity about the how to declare the class, how to access the public and private member of a particular class, what is the impact if we are accessing the private member directly outside the class. So I think you got the clear clarity about this concept. Okay. Now class method defining. This is the again very important concept in the C++, ki how we can define or declare the method inside the class. Methods means member function. We can use this terminology alternatively, member function or methods, no issue at all. So how we can define? So we have the option outside the class or inside the class. Okay. Now function outside the class. So you will see here inside this, if we define the function outside the class, if we defining, not declaring, comes into the particular words, if we are defining the function outside the class, first we have declared that function within a class by terminating semicolon and then define outside the class body by using the scope resolution. This is the scope resolution operator along with class name and with function name. It means the scenario is this: if you are going to, this is a class, suppose X, if you are defining the function outside the class, in that scenario first you declare function inside the body of class, then after define the outside the class. Understand? So I think you got the clarity how question comes into the picture, comes into the mind, how we can declare and how we can access or define outside the class. Okay. So I am talking about the scenario function defining outside the class comes. Now you will see here inside this, we have one class, the name of the class is box. The name of the class is box. Okay. and inside this class we have 3 data members, and this is the one function which I have declared. Why I am saying this is the declared function? Because the function is terminated by the semicolon, and declared function has never body part. Okay, body means opening curly braces and closing curly braces. So in that scenario you will see here. Now question comes into the mind. Now we are going to define this declared function outside the class. So how we can? Outside the means outside the body of the class. This is the body, this is the body of the class. Now we are going to define what is the return type, class name, function name, this is the body. Whatever you want to give the body of a particular class. So this is the approach, and how you can define the particular method outside the class. Thank you so much.